Once upon a time, in a quiet suburban neighborhood, there lived a curious and hungry young boy named Timmy. Timmy had always been fascinated by the mysterious and eerie-looking house at the end of his street. The house was known as the Haunted Mansion among the neighborhood kids, and it had a sinister reputation. One fateful night, Timmy's parents decided to go out for a rare date night, leaving Timmy at home alone. The allure of the Haunted Mansion, combined with his craving for pizza, led him to a daring decision. He was going to order a pizza and have it delivered to the infamous Howl's Dot. As the clock struck midnight, Timmy picked up the phone and called the local pizzeria. He ordered his favorite pizza with extra cheese and pepperoni, and gave the delivery address as the Haunted Mansion. The pizzeria employee on the other end of the line hesitated for a moment, but ultimately agreed to the strange request. Timmy sat by the window, anxiously awaiting his pizza delivery. The night was exceptionally dark, with clouds obscuring the moon and stars. An eerie silence hung in the air as he watched the seconds tick by. Suddenly, a faint knock echoed through the house. Timmy's heart raced as he realized that his pizza had arrived, clutching his money tightly. He approached the front door, which seemed to creak open ominously by itself. As he peered outside, he saw a shadowy figure holding a pizza box. The delivery person's face was hidden beneath the hood of their jacket, and their voice was barely a whisper when they asked for payment. Timmy handed over the money, and as the figure handed him the pizza box, a chilling gust of wind swept through the doorway, extinguishing the lights inside the house dot in the darkness. Timmy could hear the faint sound of ghostly whispers and footsteps echoing through the mansion. Fear washed over him, and he fumbled to find a flashlight. When he finally turned it on, he gasped in horror at what he saw. The room was filled with ghostly apparitions, all staring at him with hollow eyes. They were dressed in tattered, old-fashioned clothing, and their faces contorted into twisted expressions. Timmy realized that he had unwittingly invited these restless spirits into the house by ordering the pizza. The ghosts began to close in on him, their whispers growing louder and more sinister. Terrified and cornered, Timmy fled deeper into the Haunted Mansion, with the ghosts in pursuit. As he navigated the labyrinthine corridors and rooms of the mansion, he stumbled upon a dusty, forgotten library, desperate to escape. He searched for answers in old books, and discovered that the mansion had a dark history involving a tragic family curse. With newfound determination, Timmy realized that he needed to break the curse to escape the clutches of the vengeful spirits. Armed with the knowledge he had gained, he embarked on a perilous journey through the mansion, seeking to uncover the secret that would set the spirits free. As the night wore on, Timmy's bravery was put to the test, and he faced a series of spine-chilling challenges within the mansion's walls. The ghosts alternated between trying to hinder his progress and revealing cryptic clues to unravel the curse. With each step, Timmy grew closer to understanding the mansion's dark past and how to break the curse. Finally, after a harrowing night filled with terror and determination, he found the key to freeing the restless spirits. As the first rays of dawn broke through the windows, Timmy completed the ritual that would release the ghosts from their torment. The mansion seemed to sigh in relief as the spirits drifted away, their malevolent presence vanishing into the morning mist. Exhausted and shaken, Timmy stepped outside the now silent haunted mansion. The sun was rising, and the neighborhood was awakening to a new day. He realized that the pizza delivery had been a portal to an adventure he would never forget. Timmy walked back to his own home. Forever changed by the haunted night's events, the neighborhood kids would never believe his story. But he knew that the haunted mansion held secrets that were best left undisturbed, hidden in the shadows of the past. In the quiet suburban town of Woodridge, nestled beneath a canopy of stars on a moonless night, Sarah, a diligent college student, found herself locked in the solitude of her small apartment. It was one of those evenings when her coursework had kept her up late, and a rumbling stomach had finally convinced her to order a pizza from Tony's Pizzeria, a local favorite known for its delectable offerings. As the clock's hands neared midnight, Sarah's anticipation grew. She was looking forward to a brief reprieve from her textbooks and a tasty slice of pizza. Little did she know that the events about to unfold would shatter her peaceful night into a terrifying ordeal. The echo of a knock on the door jolted Sarah from her textbook-induced daze. She eagerly opened the door, expecting to find the familiar face of Tony, the cheerful pizza delivery guy. Instead, a stranger stood before her, a young man in his 20s wearing the unmistakable uniform of Tony's Pizzeria. "Hi there, I'm Jake, your delivery guy," he greeted, offering a friendly smile. The polite exchange of words seemed perfectly normal, yet Sarah couldn't shake a subtle glint of malevolence lurking in Jake's eyes. It sent a chill down her spine, a primal instinct that something was amiss. She dismissed it as a trick of the dimly lit hallway and reached for the pizza box. As Sarah handed over the payment, she couldn't help but notice how tightly Jake clutched the money, his fingers nearly white-knuckled. A wave of unease washed over her, but it was too late. In a sudden, horrifying moment, Jake pushed his way into her apartment, a menacing grin revealing his sinister intent. Terrified and helpless, Sarah's attempts to push him away proved futile. Jake was overpowering, and he dragged her further into her apartment, away from the door's feeble escape route. In the living room, he revealed his true intentions, and Sarah's worst fears were realized. He had never come to deliver a pizza. Instead, he had devised a sinister plan, one that involved Sarah and her very survival. He tied her securely to a chair, relishing in her growing terror, and began to describe in chilling detail the gruesome fate that awaited her. The minutes stretched into agonizing hours as Sarah fought to stay alive, her life hanging by a thread. She knew that she needed to find a way out of this nightmarish situation. As her captor became more engrossed in his menacing monologue, Sarah noticed a glimmer of hope, the faint glow of her phone within harm's reach. Summoning every ounce of courage, Sarah inched her hand closer to her phone, her trembling fingers barely brushing against the cold surface. She managed to dial 911, her heart pounding with desperation as she pressed the call button, praying that the dispatcher on the other end would hear her desperate plea for help. Outside her apartment, a vigilant police dispatcher received the call and immediately relayed the distress signal, mobilizing a team of officers to Sarah's location. She clung to her phone, tears of fear and relief streaming down her face, her only lifeline to salvation. Back inside the apartment, Jake's diabolical plans inched closer to a chilling climax as he prepared to carry out his deadly intent. Just as he was poised to strike, the apartment door burst open and the police stormed in, guns drawn and faces determined. Caught off guard, Jake attempted to flee, but he was swiftly apprehended by the officers. Sarah's eyes met those of her rescuers, tears of relief streaming down her face. She was safe. The police arrested Jake, and Sarah provided a statement recounting the horrifying ordeal she had endured. It was a nightmarish experience that would forever scar her memory and alter the course of her life. As she sat in the safety of her apartment, surrounded by police officers, friends, and family, Sarah couldn't help but reflect on the sinister turn of events that had transpired during a routine pizza delivery. Her story served as a chilling reminder of the ever-present dangers lurking behind the facade of seemingly everyday interactions, a stark testament to the darkness that can infiltrate even the most ordinary moments of life. In a quiet, gloomy town, nestled beneath a perpetual shroud of fog, lived a young boy named Danny. Poor Danny had been bedridden in the local hospital for as long as he could remember, battling a mysterious illness that seemed to sap his strength day by day. His only solace was in the delicious pizzas delivered from Tony's Pizzeria, which helped him forget the monotony of his hospital room. One particularly chilly and eerie night, Danny's craving for pizza became insatiable. He reached for his phone and dialed Tony's Pizzeria, ordering his favorite pizza with extra cheese and pepperoni. However, when he gave his room number, the voice on the other end of the line seemed strangely hesitant before reluctantly agreeing. As the minutes ticked by, Danny stared out of the window at the thick fog that enveloped the hospital. He couldn't help but feel a creeping sense of unease. Finally, a soft knock on his door pulled him from his thoughts. Assuming it was the pizza delivery person, he welcomed the visitor into his room. To his surprise, it wasn't the usual cheerful pizza delivery person from Tony's Pizzeria who entered. Instead, a sinister figure in a nurse's uniform stood before him. Her eyes were shrouded by darkness, and her smile held an eerie, malevolent charm. Danny felt a cold sweat break out on his brow. As he handed over the money for the pizza, the nurse accepted the payment but lingered, her gaze unnerving him. She introduced herself as Nurse Malachi and offered to stay with Danny during his meal. Uneasy but unable to refuse, Danny reluctantly agreed. As he took a slice of pizza, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Nurse Malachi's presence felt suffocating, and her unnaturally elongated fingers seemed to twitch with anticipation. Over the course of their meal, Nurse Malachi began asking Danny questions that veered into the bizarre and unsettling. She inquired about his deepest fears and darkest secrets, her voice taking on a sinister tone with each passing moment. As the minutes turned into hours, Danny realized that he was trapped in his own room, and Nurse Malachi showed no signs of leaving. Panic washed over him as he realized that she wasn't a real nurse, but something far more sinister. Desperation welled up within him as he sought a way to escape. In a last-ditch effort, Danny faked exhaustion and pretended to drift off to sleep. As he lay there with his eyes barely open, he saw Nurse Malachi's malevolent grin widen. She leaned in close, her breath icy on his face, and whispered a chilling promise that sent shivers down his spine. Just as she was about to make her move, the hospital intercom crackled to life with an urgent announcement, causing Nurse Malachi to recall it was a distraction Danny had prayed for, and he used the opportunity to bolt from his bed and rush towards the door. As he sprinted through the dimly lit hospital corridors, fear gnawed at him, and the building itself seemed to conspire against his escape. He could hear Nurse Malachi's sinister laughter echoing in the distance as she pursued him, her footsteps like a haunting melody. With every ounce of strength he had left, Danny burst through the hospital's heavy entrance doors and into the foggy night. The town had never looked so surreal, bathed in the pale glow of the moon. He knew he could never return to that hospital, for Nurse Malachi was not of this world. She was a diabolical force, sent to torment him in his weakest moments. As he disappeared into the chilling fog, Danny vowed to uncover the truth behind the sinister nurse and the dark secrets that lurked in the shadows of the hospital.